Hello. Hi, how is everybody? I'm just trying to get used to Zoom because I don't use it that much. So bear with me today. Can you guys hear me? If not, I need to fix it, but let's see. How is everyone? Yeah, you hear me? Good. Sorry, I don't ever use Zoom that much. I'm mostly like working with the camera. So this is really like new for me. So bear with me while I get used to like all the little pieces here. How is everyone today? It's Thursday. I'm in Stockholm, so it's quite late. Well, it's 4 o'clock, but it's very dark now. It's starting to get darker and darker here. So the chat is disabled. Let me just double check with the chat. Okay, let me check here. Everyone there. Thank you, Kathy. Let me know if that's better. So many of you guys signed up, and I'm so excited to teach this today. So I know that it takes time for people to kind of stream in. So I'll just wait a little bit longer, but a lot of you are joining, and this is so exciting to see you guys here. Where are you guys tuning in from? I know that there's people from all over, and there were some people that couldn't make it today. So there will be a replay, so you can watch it later if you want to take some more notes. Still not working? Okay, hold on. Let me just work on this chat thing really quick. Okay. Show chats. Q&A. Oh, maybe I need to allow questions. How about that now? I put all questions. Sorry, I don't use Zoom that much. So I don't know. Like, I thought that like the questions and stuff would be easy, but I now put questions. Can you say, like, can you type something? Does it work now? Hey, okay, yeah, I see Anna. Hi. Let's see. Is anybody else having an issue with like typing or like questioning? Like, oh, that's so strange. I'm not used to using Zoom, so if anybody knows like how this works. Let's see really quick. Because I see the raise hand, I see chats, and I see like participants. So weird. Okay. Well, I see the questions here on the side. So, anyways, if you can type, I can see things here over on this side. So, anyways, I would love to know where you guys are tuning in from, because I see like Kathy responding and Patricia responding, but somehow I don't know if anybody else can see it. Like I said, I'm still new to Zoom. But yeah, I tried to figure all this stuff out beforehand, but I guess I'm still not like very like yeah. Okay. But I can see some of the answers here. Okay, Croatian from Spain, Finland. Awesome. So cool to see so many people from all over. Oh, thank you, Kathy. Yes, I'm more of like I'm used to like my podcasting and all that, and I can actually like keep control of that stuff when it's kind of like pre-recorded, but now we're live, which makes me feel even more nervous. I hope everything turns out okay with the recording. Oh yeah, you're from Stockholm. Awesome. Welcome. I'm so excited about this. It's so fun to see that so many people are from all over the world. Um, yeah, this is so cool. All right. Well, I will just start getting into the training. Um, yeah, I've been working on launching this, trying to get a lot of people to come, and I'm really proud that I got at least like 70 some of you to come here. I don't know if everybody will join live today, but I'm still happy that I managed to meet that goal. I was trying to get 100 people, but that's kind of how it works, right? You have a goal and see if you can set it. But yeah, so let me just do a share of my screen and I'll start getting into this training today because I know you guys have busy schedules and you have other things to do. But let me just do a screen share so I can get this going here. Do you see the screen at least? Yeah, here's the screen. All right. So you guys are here today because you wanted to learn how to refine your visual style and command higher rates and build a thriving brand photography business. So that's what this topic is about today. And because you guys are here today, I'm going to give you this free posing guide at the end. So I'll give you the link for the posing guide. And I thought, okay, what can I give everyone that will really help you guys, especially if you're new to posing or you struggle with like helping people find new ways of like posing in front of the camera or different ideas, right? So it's a little bit tricky sometimes when you're on the go, and at least this posing guide can start to help you to think of different ways to get your clients in poses or in action shots. So I hope that you really enjoy this posing guide. It's 23 pages. So I really put a lot in here for you guys. Ooh, Utah. Wow. Hello. Awesome. So my goal today is for you to learn the art of brand photography. So by the end of the masterclass, you're going to learn the next steps that you need to take to refine your portfolio, to command higher rates. And when I say command, I feel like maybe command is too hard, like ask for higher rates and build your brand photography business so that 2025 is the year you're booked out and your business is making a profit, okay? So I just wanted to put together a quick little timeline of how it's going to go down. And I already asked you, where are you from? So if you want to keep on letting me know where you're from, that's awesome because I love seeing how everybody is from different places. And just so that you can get the most out of this masterclass, I really want you to feel like you spent a lot of money on this so that you feel like your time was worth it and that you are investing in yourself. And I think that's really important if you are a business owner to invest in yourself. I've taken a million courses. I am like a course junkie, but I love learning. And every time I learn from someone, I'm able to advance my business or even personally advance myself, my mindset. And so I hope that you will learn something today that can help you. And then, of course, yeah, like I said, if you stay to the end, you're going to get that posing guide. And is it freezing? Oh, okay. Well, I hope it's not freezing. If it is, I'm so sorry. I'm trying my best. But yeah, then we're going to get into the masterclass training. And then I will let you know a little bit about something that I have for you guys. And if you choose to join me, that would be awesome. So I'll just let you know about that. Ooh, okay. So you want to learn more about brand photography. I do portraits, events, and concerts. But the thing is, branding our potential. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask who's been a brand photographer. So quickly, I just want to let you know who I am because I know a lot of you are probably new to my world. I'm an American. I'm actually from Illinois, from a small town called Bloomington Normal. And I left and moved around the world, and I'm now living in Stockholm, Sweden. I lived in Belgium for 5 years, and now I'm here, and I've been here since 2015. And I love Stockholm. It's so much fun. I've had such a great career here. And this is where I started everything. I actually started as a photographer quite late. I was 37 and I had two little kids. I still have kids, but they were really small. One was 8 months old and 3 months or 3 years old. And I ended up getting this opportunity to work with like my husband's cousin, who's an art director. and she's an art director for this big vegan hair care product brand. And she asked me to be the behind the scenes photographer for this for the commercial. And because of that, that kind of triggered everything. But that was the first time I actually charged money to work as a photographer. And I had so much like mindset issues around this because I had never even thought of starting a photography business. And it was here that I started. And starting a business in another country is really hard because you don't have a support system. You barely know anybody, you don't speak the language, and I had to figure everything out. So now, if you fast forward, I have a very successful brand photography business here, working as an American, and it's been awesome. So I think that building my brand really helped me to uh, expand my career as a brand photographer. So, but yeah, so I work as a brand photographer for solopreneurs and companies. I've worked with Electrolux, Lime scooters, smaller businesses, and like small, like little solopreneurs. And yeah, so I also have two podcasts. So I don't know if any of you ended up here because of the podcast Behind the Lens. And yeah, so I'm just passionate about helping entrepreneurs grow and follow their passion. And I have over 10 years working in the photography industry now, here as an expat. So oh, thank you. You love my... So, how much do I charge? Well, it depends. I don't have like one base price. I work based off of what people need. So sometimes I have to listen to what the company wants or what a small business owner needs, and then I have like tailored packages. So I have to really think about how I produce the brand shoots for other people. So yeah, so I'm going to give you a quick little rundown of my journey. Whew, this journey was very hard, and I started my home studio in 2016, and I was shooting like portraits, and I was just trying every genre out. I did weddings and different things, but I realized what I loved the most was branding, and I already had like a background in as a graphic designer working in that, and I loved branding then. So it just made sense for me to move into branding. And because I didn't know anything about business, I ended up like finding Sue Bryce. And I don't know if any of you know who she is, but she's the person that I ended up discovering and learning from. And while it was the perfect person for me at that very moment, I also realized that my work started to look very much like hers. And I could see that other people were um, were looking like that too. And so it was at that point when I started to really think about how can I start standing out in my own way, even though like I'm still like shooting similarly, but maybe I can find my own, unique way of showing up. So I had to find my unique voice, but it took time. So this was in 2017. And during that time, I also started learning about branding a lot more because I really needed to understand what branding was. And so I took this branding workshop with this girl in Chicago called Jessica Zweig, and I really learned a lot there. So let me look at the comments really quick. Entrepreneurs are complicated. Many don't have money and they expect poops. I mean, like to help, but okay, yes, of course. That's why we're going to be talking about like attracting the right people to pay us so we don't attract the ones that won't. Okay. So I just want to show you in the beginning, like on the left, my work looked really like, I would say it was good, but it wasn't great. And you could see that I was all over the place and there was no voice. I couldn't find where I was trying to go, if you can see that on the left. And now I finally found my voice where you can see it's more cohesive and it has like some sort of, you can just feel that it's more like has a voice and colors and light. So I was a little bit all over the place and then I kind of honed in into where I was going. I love it when people propose on a collaboration when they mean free. Yeah. Okay, so brand photography has allowed me to earn income from my skills wherever I was in the world. And when I started to focus on my visual style, building my own personal brand as a photographer was like, it's when everything changed for me. And that's how I became this go to person here in Stockholm. And a lot of people know me for that one thing. So, I know the power of branding and what brand photography has done for me, and I just want to share what I've like learned from it. It's allowed me to work 9 to 5 hours instead of giving up my weekends. I don't know if any of you are wedding photographers or doing things on the weekends, but I'm a mom and I want to be home with my kids and be able to see them after school and on the weekends. So I tried to make my life work around that. Um, and then I'm earning money helping people in a positive way, which is so amazing because when you get to see the results of what happens when you help somebody else build their business, it's really rewarding. And I've been able to travel to other countries with my camera because of it. Let's see. So I think, though, this is my personal opinion, but there's no better time than now to offer brand photography to your business. And if you follow me on my Instagram, I did talk about how you can mix in brand photography into your current offerings. And maybe if you're only doing weddings, you can give up like one weekend and fill it with brand photography instead. Now, of course, like weddings, of course, you charge a lot more. But if you want to have some more freedom to be able to charge, at least a little bit more, you're able to get back a weekend. So, but there's so many different genres of brand photography that you can niche into. So, if you want to niche into brand photography and be known for something, I did do a video on that. And I talk about how you can take your background knowledge, like wherever you've worked before. If maybe you've worked, like I said, like if you've worked in a like hair salon or if you've worked with events, I mean, you can learn to just be creative on how you make money so that you can like pitch to companies or show off how you can be like more niched into working with specific areas. So you can unlock new streams of income with brand photography. So I work mostly with solopreneurs. A lot of them are course creators, but I also work within corporate. I've worked with Electrolux and they do a lot of like internal branding. So they call me in and I just go in and help them and they do spotlights on their employees. So, I mean, there's different ways to approach brand photography. So you can niche down into different areas. Like there's real estate, beauty, fashion. Okay. So there's different ways. So I want you to start thinking of like, what's my background and what am I actually excited to do? And how can I start working with those people that really light me up? Because then you can actually create imagery that you love to create. So if you look at my work is a little bit more fashion based. I really love working with that kind of editorial look, but I'm a little bit like brighter and have color. And so I've kind of honed in on my unique style. But for those of you who've never been a brand photographer, I want you to screen capture this so you can follow this little roadmap so that you can start thinking about how you want to work in this. So when I started, I had to kind of do a few things for free, collaborate um, until I built something and I had to work into it. So it does take time to maybe like build a portfolio, but if you want to go really fast, you would just, you know, find a lot of people and photograph them and make sure that, you're presenting the kind of work that you want to create and the people who you like want to work with. So I'm curious, where are you in your either brand photography journey or your photography journey in general? Because I know that we are all at different levels and it's okay to be a newbie and it's okay to be up here, more advanced. I'm just really curious to get a feel on like where you are. If you want to like leave that in the chat and just tell me, how do you identify yourself? Are you somebody who's never shot a brand shoot? You're just starting as a photographer, or you're just getting into brand photography, but still like figuring it out? Or have you been working as a brand photographer for a while? Let's see, in the chat. I did 2 free personal branding shoots, but I find it so hard finding venues and posing people. Yeah, Kathy, you're in Stockholm, right? So, yes, it is a little bit trickier here because I know in America, you guys have like really cool spaces like Peer Space and all these different studios. Stockholm is still a little behind. One day, hopefully, I could open something like that, like a place that people can shoot in that's really beautiful. You're brand new. I've done headshots for the last 8 years and I want something more creative. Okay. Brand photography seems like headshots on steroids. That's funny. Yeah. And you know what? You can just start saying headshots are out, brand photography's in. Nobody's even doing those anymore because like, everybody is on social media using LinkedIn. The headshot, it's like pointless. So just you have to kind of find a way to sell brand photography to the person that wants the headshot. Okay, never started brand shoot, did surf photography, nature photography. I love fashion photography, but what also interests me, how much is it to editing photos? Yes, well, nowadays editing can be quite quick. Um, and I'm kind of teaching all that stuff inside of my course, and but I'll tell you guys about that later. I have been working and focusing mainly to brand photography. I want to find and define my own style. Yes. And I think that's so important right now because there's so many photographers. And, I'm going to tell you about how we can start getting into defining our own style. I'm just starting into, but still figuring it out, trying to find my niche. Okay, great. Great. Well, you're in the right place. Let me get to the next slide. So, one of the challenges of being a brand photographer is that everything can start to look the same online. And that's because people are kind of copying each other, and there's Pinterest. And one thing I noticed was that it started to look too similar. And I feel like, that this can be a little bit of a problem when things start to look too similar. Because if your photos blend in, then it's not helping your business. It's actually making it harder for you to stand out, especially in your area as a brand photographer. So if you look exactly the same with like similar lighting to somebody else, it might be hard for you to sell your high price to somebody who's cheaper. So that's why you want to find what's your USP, your unique selling point, and also your unique, like the way you show up visually. And so when you are showing up so differently than somebody else, it's easy for somebody to pick you because nobody else is doing it like you. So if some of you are photographers working as like a photographer or branding, there are some mistakes that you could be making in your photography business. And this is something that I've noticed from when I've interviewed a bunch of business owners when I was doing market research. And photographers are not getting to know their clients and what they do before the shoot. A lot of people are just showing up to the shoot without a plan or a vision. And there's a lot of people copying other photographers, thinking that that's the way to go. And maybe you're not evolving your work. So you're kind of doing the same old style for the same like for a different person, but it looks, a little bit outdated. And photography can start to look outdated if you aren't updating your style. And maybe you're not like treating your brand shoots like a production, which it should be because there's so many moving pieces. And it depends on like how advanced the brand shoot goes, but like sometimes there can be 5 people involved or more. So like there's the makeup artist, maybe a stylist or a videographer. So there's like lots of people on set, and you do need to treat it like a production. And sometimes like picking a bunch of random Pinterest photos is not a way to just plan a brand shoot. There's so much to it. Let me just quickly check the chat. I'm curious how to do brand photography without saturating the market. How do you justify charging a lot and doing a few exclusive customers? Okay, well, how to do brand photography without saturating the market? Well, you wouldn't, I mean, yes, of course, there's more people, but that's why finding your own visual edge and like finding what makes you so unique you won't be saturating the market. You'll just be like finding what makes you different so that you're positioning yourself in a different way. So brand photography has gone through a lot of changes in the last couple of years. And there's been like an evolution of brand photography. And I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, if you are working as a brand photographer, but it's heavily focused on props, like close-ups of coffee mugs, disco balls, and champagne bottles, blown out white lighting, and cookie cutter styles. So there's nothing wrong if you are doing that, but I'm just trying to point out that if everybody is trying to look like that, it doesn't really make you stand out. And sometimes I'm like, do you really need the disco ball? Does it really mean anything in your business? So there's a lot of things that happen. And I just have to say that there's a shift happening again. And people want more creative and conceptual brand shoots. So business owners want the most talented people working for them. They don't want someone with just a camera, okay? They actually want someone who knows how to help them plan a brand shoot and sell their services. So how, like, they want you to know how to create creative concepts, understand the difference between branding and marketing, which I talked about in my podcast, Behind the Lens. So if you want to go back and listen to it, you can. They want someone who knows how to launch, especially if you're working with somebody who's selling online courses, because you need to be thinking alongside with them. And you need to be able to understand how to create content for social media. And they want it all tailored for them, okay? So if you want to succeed in your niche as a brand photographer, you need to be able to help your clients stand out in a sea of sameness. Okay, that's how you become that go-to person that can command higher rates. And business owners, they need our services and our help more than ever. They don't understand branding. They don't know how to create the vision and images. And half the time they don't know what they want. They don't understand social media, especially if they're new. They don't know how to plan a brand shoot, which is where you come in. And they don't know what to do with all the content that they get from the shoot. And I put this picture here because somebody sent me this, but I really need some photos now. Like she was desperate to have photos. And I was like, well, wait. I know you're in a hurry, but let's hone in on your brand because we need to understand this first before we just go and shoot a bunch of photos. Let's get clear on your brand. And so that's what we did. But these people, they know that they need, what they need to do, but what they do know is that in order to sell their offers and services, they need photos and video to market their business. And that's what makes us photographers super valuable, okay? So a lot of people need our help. And as a brand photographer, your role goes far beyond capturing pretty pictures. So you're in the business of transformation, helping people like go from this to this, elevating them through like maybe iPhone photos to professional photos. You're helping them bring their vision to life, even though they don't know it, but once you understand how to guide somebody through a brand shoot, you can help them with this, which allows you to charge more. Crafting imagery that not only looks stunning, but also drives sales. And you're helping them understand branding, right? You're helping them to launch and get seen by the masses. Let me just quickly look at the chat so I'm not like going off. I usually adjust the look to each customer's brand. I know a lot only stick to the one style though. Yes, yeah, I agree with you. And I do too. I actually, all of my brand shoots do not look the same, but you can still see that it's my editing or my style. So that's where my consistency comes from. Oops. So here's the truth. Personal brand clients, they want to work with photographers who can amplify their brand. So personal brand clients, they want to work with photographers who can resonate with their vision. They're looking for someone with a distinct visual edge to match their brand voice. And because not every business owner wants bright white photos or dark and moody or studio style. This is where we need to, like, we can still use our unique way of shooting. There's no one way to shoot a brand shoot. And I used to think that brand photos had to look in a certain way. But in reality, there's lots of people with different brands, and there's lots of photographers that can meet the needs of these people in different ways, right? So our unique way of showing people are like through photos. Like for instance, like my style is bright and a little more colorful. So maybe somebody who wants to go a little bit deeper with deeper shadows and things, they may want to go to a different photographer, and that's totally fine. I don't want to be a photographer for somebody and then they feel like I did something wrong, right? So you can use your unique voice to cater to a certain group of people who want your style. So you're probably asking yourself, is it possible to be a brand photographer? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can. So you can do this. I've done this for myself, and I did it in another country. So if you are in your home country, like in the US, I'm sure you will be fine. But you just need to have the right knowledge on how to guide people through this. And I put this screenshot of somebody who I actually did a workshop for, and she reached out to me on social media after the training, and she has like 23,000 followers on her Instagram. She is a wonderful photographer, and I was like mind blown that I was able to do that for her, because I thought in my head like she already knows all this stuff. But she basically said that I was able to show her that she can make a business out of branding, and she never saw it that way. So it's possible for you to be a brand photographer. How much do we need to learn about branding per se to guide our clients correctly? Well, at least know some foundational stuff. You don't have to be a whiz in it, but just understand some of the foundations, because what I've learned is that a lot of people, they don't really know what branding is. I mean, they start a business because they have an idea, and then they think, okay, I need photos now. But then when they reach out to you, they don't know what they want. But in order to make the photos look one of a kind and unique, you need to understand how to maybe ask the right questions to guide them to understand how can we visually show their business in a different way than just very basic. And so I would say learn a little bit at least, but I'm one of these people that likes to learn a lot about a lot of different things. And I'm just a very curious person. So I've taken a million courses. Do you have a go-to book, podcast for learning and diving into more branding? Well, I use a lot of YouTube, and I also, like I said, I went to Jessica Zweig's branding workshop that she had. And even then, when I took that workshop, it kind of went like whoop, over my head. So it took me some time to really get clear about it. But you can find some courses if you want to on branding, but it's really in order to be able to maybe increase your packages, you can guide people through maybe brand strategy. That's how you can make yourself more valuable to people. Yeah, so like I said earlier, there are potential clients waiting for your unique perspective and your unique creative approach to brand photography. So we all have a different voice, we all have a different way of shooting photos, and it's just really important to know that your unique style is important for somebody. And so to be a brand photographer in a category of one, you need to have your unique visual edge. And that is to be able to create creative concepts, like I already said, but have a signature photography style, a portfolio that stands out, and imagery that can tell stories. And when you have this, you will always be the one to get booked first. You'll be the one top of mind when people are looking for a brand photographer, and you will command those higher rates, and no one else can copy you, because you'll have a way of being creative and thinking outside of the box. And this is what I'm going to be teaching you guys, whoever in my course, Nail Your Visual Edge, if anybody wants to get into it. But if you look at this photo here to the left, I haven't even shared these photos because we're waiting to launch like the podcast for this girl. But you know, when she came to me, she was like, "Oh, hey Jess, I have a podcast that I want to shoot photos for. I don't know what I want, but here's the name." And when she gave me the name, I already had the idea. So in my head, I was like, "Ooh, this is so cool. Like, let's do the record player. Let's have the little records because each record is like each person's story." And the name of her podcast is called Off the Record. So in my head, I already saw the images, and this is what we created. So when you can start to think like a creative director, you will stand out in your own unique way. And it's just coming up with really cool ideas, and it doesn't have to be super hard. So your visual edge has power. And when you have a portfolio of powerful images that stand out, you will attract those dream customers that you want to work with. So that's why I said, like, really think about who do you want to work with. But if your photos don't look professional and they're visually all over the place, like what I showed you in the very beginning, what my photos looked like, I did attract those cheap customers. And it was because of my work. And no one will book you because they won't feel that you're going to be able to deliver on the work that they want created. And anyone can build a brand photography business, but if your work isn't cutting it, then people will not be hiring you to be that go-to photographer in your area. And this is where I'm going to be like a little bit hard. No bookings means no income, right? And we don't want that. We want to make money helping people with our gifts because we're creatives and we want to be paid, but we also want to help people, right? So, you know, you have to kind of work on finding your photography style, refining your work, getting better. And what I did was I took tons of workshops. I went and I did in-person photography workshops. I flew to London. I worked with Laura Jade, and I really invested in myself to like improve my actual photography. Hold on, somebody asked the question. Do you arrange the props for the shoot? Sometimes I do, or I'll tell my clients to get it because, you know, sometimes they are the ones who are like it kind of visualizing things, but sometimes I get it too. So it's kind of like a teamwork thing. Do you offer in-person workshops? I've debated on it, so I'm thinking of it, but I'm in Stockholm, so I don't know how many people would fly here or come here. Where do you find the workshops that you attend? So I would just follow different photographers on Instagram and I would see if they were having workshops. You can just, even if there's a photographer offering workshops in a similar photography style, but maybe it's not your genre, at least you get to practice learning how to shoot in certain like certain lighting scenarios. There was a girl here in Stockholm that also offered workshops, but she's no longer doing that. But I attended a couple of hers and it was awesome because one, I was able to meet other photographers. Two, I was able to practice with different lighting that I had never tried before. And I was able to like expand my repertoire with like creativity. And yeah, so I would just follow different photographers that you're interested in and see how if they have any workshops. I need an excuse to come to go to Stockholm. Yes, come to Stockholm. So let's talk about the time that I had a portfolio review with the world-renowned photographer Bill Kramer. And I did a podcast episode about this, Behind the Lens. So if you have access to it, go listen to it. But this was the portfolio that changed my photography style. And because of that portfolio review, I was able to find where I was going before I even knew where I was going. So Bill was able to look at my work and he didn't criticize me because I know that when you have a portfolio review, it can be very intimidating. It's scary. I mean, I was in art school and every time we had to put our work up on the wall, it was always like, is it good enough? You know? And he was so nice. And he just basically said, I can see where you're going. You're not like at the level maybe where, you know, you can charge a lot, but I can see where you're going. And if you keep going in this direction and you start doing this or that, then I think you're in the right path. And that changed everything for me. And that was when I was able to start finding my visual style. Hold on, I have another question here. How do you approach your images from the archive? Do you retouch it again after many years so that it looks current? Oh, I wish I could. I just don't have the time. Uh, what would you do if you shoot different assignments, different fields of photography as well? I do product photography and I do branding, and I don't really show off the product stuff that much or the companies that I work with that much either, but I still get the work because people see the work and they still reach out. So the question is, so how do we create a portfolio that brings in fully aligned clients? So I'm going to give you a little roadmap here in the next slide that you can screen capture. But this one, it's very basic because there's a lot that you can go into to refine your work. And this is what I'm teaching inside of my course, Nail Your Visual Edge. And we're going to learn how to work on curating your work, but also get into the brand photography. So a lot of these people here are people who book me for brand shoots. And so that, like I said, you don't have to have like your style can be for somebody, right? So like my style is a little bit fashion forward, but still clean and commercial. But your style can be very different because there are different people who need what you have to offer. And so this is how you start refining your work. You can do screen capture, but this is the very basic, light version, because when we go into this, we will really go into finding your visual voice and how we can start refining your work. And, when you look at your entire portfolio, you're going to have to be the person that is very honest with yourself and just say am I happy with my work? Does it feel like the way I want it to look? And if not, you get to change that and you get to evolve, because if you saw my work from the very beginning and to where it is now, it's a very big gap, right? You can only go up when you start to really challenge yourself. And at every shoot, I've always challenged myself. I've always said, how can I make this better? What can I do to improve my work? And there's always something that happens on set where I'm like, oh, I should have done this or I should have done that. But if you can be aware of your style and start to hone in on it, it will help you to get better and be a better photographer. And your visual edge will allow you to command higher rates and get more time back, because you won't have to take on more shoots to make up for the money that you need. Because when you can charge a little bit more, that means you can take on less work, right? But if you're currently undervaluing your work and having to take on a million jobs just to make ends meet, then you need to work on either upping your photography game so that you can charge a little bit more or hire a lot more. Because the truth is that when your portfolio looks professional, people are willing to pay more for your work. And I think that's really important to remind yourself to always challenge yourself. That's what it is to be a creative, right? Just to improve your work at all times. And it may not happen overnight, but it will start to happen and you will see a difference, right? When you go back and you look at your work. And I want to reiterate this. You do not have to be a luxury photographer to command higher rates. And I did talk about this in the podcast. So if you want to go back and listen to one of those episodes as well. But you don't have to be, this luxury photographer unless you choose to. And that's what you can be a great photographer and still ask for premium prices, but you have to have quality photography and a portfolio that matches. So if you find that you're attracting the wrong clients who are price shopping, or you're not able to earn as much from your shoots, then it's time to start refining your portfolio. And also working on your mindset about do people want to pay for this? Because a lot of the time it's mindset as well, and believing that people are going to pay you a nice price that you want that can sustain you. It's mindset. And you have to work through that if you have issues with asking for money, because I had that problem too, and I had to work through it. But now I don't have that problem because I've had to work on myself. So like being a business owner means that you will go on this journey of like self-discovery and seeing like the things that hold you back and working through them. So wouldn't it be awesome if your client calls you and asks you to go to Greenland to do a brand shoot, which it just happened to me. And I thought like, wow, yeah, that sounds amazing. Like, I cannot wait to go. But she was like, yeah, but just expect that like when you get there, you may not fly back home on the same day. It could take a week or two to get back. And I was like, oh, and I was like, okay, that sounds awesome. I would love to go to Greenland, but like to be gone for that long. And I was like, okay, are there any brand photographers there? And she was like, no. And I was like, that can't be true. Like, how is there not a brand photographer in Greenland? And she was like, no, there aren't. She's like, I know everybody in the town because the town is small. So what I'm saying is like people will fly you places if they trust you and they love your work, right? So when you establish your brand as a brand photographer, you're going to attract people who value you, but you also have to work on the quality of your photography. So yeah, let me just quickly read the chat. Sometimes when I say trust you, it's a little scary. No, there's no one small town, but she's from a small town and she was like, I don't even know what the town was. But yeah, anyway. So I thought that was really cool to be able to fly. And I've also been flown to Spain as well to shoot a retreat for my client. And during that time, we shot brand photos there as well. So, I mean, it's possible to travel with brand photography. It's not just wedding. Yeah, and like I said, we need to lead by example and understand the ins and outs of brand photography, branding, content creation, and then some. And I just want to say that like 2 weeks ago, I attended Omar El Khatori's, he has this 5-day content to cash challenge. And one thing that he said was content creation is wealth creation. And I put that quote there because it's so true. When you build your brand or when your clients build their brand, it's like when you put yourself out there, you're able to earn money from your skills. And it's why we see so many people now on social media selling, because content creation is wealth creation. And even Gary Vaynerchuk, he talks about this too, social media. So we need to understand how social media works if you're not really like savvy with it. And you need to think about this so that you can start to get better and start growing your brand today. Point blank. Get yourself on your Instagram if you're not on your Instagram, or on TikTok, or wherever you want to be, like could be LinkedIn. But the more people that know you means that your name is worth more and people are going to be seeing your work, and more faces means more opportunities, right? Just because like I was on the Today Show in the US, and it was because somebody found me on my Instagram, and it didn't have anything to do with my business, but it was so random and crazy. And it was like my one like 10 minute of fame. So that was like crazy. But I'm just saying, start building your brand on social media and understand how content creation works so that when you're helping your clients, you can start to think for them, like think ahead of them. That's how you become, valuable to them. And so the most successful photographers have a unique visual edge, right? They have a signature style that we all recognize. If you look at, there's so many different photographers that I know of, like, oh my gosh, I'm blanking, but there's Sue Bryce, like I had said, she has a distinct, recognizable style. Laura Jade has a distinct style as well. There's Lindsay Adler, who's teaching on YouTube, and hers is like very, like she has her signature style. So when you can find your signature style, that's what's going to help you stand out, right? And the reason why people struggle to book clients and charge premium prices is because they don't have that unique voice. So if you feel like you're looking a little bit too close to other people in the industry, it's time to start thinking about, okay, how can I stand out? what can I do differently? Because if you play it safe and create images that anyone can make, it's harder to stand out, right? So what if I told you that finding your visual edge is the missing piece to becoming a highly sought out after and booked out brand photographer? All right, so if you have your visual edge, you're going to uncover your visual identity, right? You're going to leverage your unique photography, okay? Even if it pushes the boundaries of brand photography, because I feel like people want a fresh perspective of brand photography. That's why you see these really cool things show up and you're like, ooh, why didn't I think of that? So if you can put your own unique spin on brand photography, that's how you're going to be able to stand out. And then you'd be able to translate your clients' visions with ease, right? It would be easier for you to translate and show off how you want to help your clients. You'll master those creative direction skills that make your clients really like excited to work with you. They feel like, wow, you captured my photos the way I needed them. And you'll become that sought out photographer by the clients that you want to work with. And I want to reiterate, like, the ones that you want to work with, because you get to choose who you want to work with. It doesn't have to be the other way around. You can actually, work it so that you get to work with the right people. So let me ask you, do you feel like you have your own visual edge, your own unique style? So like, are you the first person that people think of when it's time to book a brand shoot? Are you the one that people are dreaming of working with? Are you getting referred by other people? And if not, how can you be that person? And really go back and look at your work and see, like, are you happy with it? Do you feel like there's something you could change? And that's how you start working on your visual edge. So most photographers take years to find their visual style. So it's time for you to start owning your unique photography style and find your unique voice. I don't know about you guys. How do you feel like you have your own unique voice, or are you still trying to find it? I know a few people said something, but do you feel like you have your unique voice? Because I know that a lot of people struggle with this, and this is kind of why I started to work on helping people find their creative style, because I know how hard it can be in the beginning to figure it out. Let's see. Well, in some ways, yes, especially in concert photography, but since media with no alteration, I stopped. Big mistake. Okay. You have no idea. Okay. That's okay if you don't know. That's why you're here. Are you feeling a little bit like you doubt your expertise because you keep asking yourself, is my work good enough? I'm just curious. I'm just asking some questions now to get you thinking. Or are you attracting some unaligned clients that only want the one headshot, like what that was mentioned? Maybe it's the way you're presenting it that they feel like they only need one headshot. Maybe you can check out my photos and tell me. Well, actually, I am giving portfolio reviews inside of my course, Nail Your Visual Edge. Imposter syndrome, guilty. Yeah, okay, yeah. We all had it at some point. I still sometimes have it. I mean, but you can work on it, right? That's the whole point, is to like elevate yourself and get better and better. And even the most professional people still have self-doubt. But imagine if your future looked like proudly sharing your portfolio to potential clients because you're no longer worried that they are repurposed, meaning that they look like the same one, like style that you made for the person that you shot last week, right? Or knowing that your calendar will be booked months in advance, or saying goodbye to trying to come up with concepts that are trending, like the disco ball and the champagne bottle. How to translate your client's vision, or you're comparing yourself to other people. That, imagine if you're no longer comparing yourself anymore, or feeling like you don't know how to be a creative director for your clients. and translating the ideas into actual visuals. I definitely need to learn more about lighting. Yeah, lighting, it can actually help change your photography style for sure. And that's kind of what I did. I had to really work on learning different styles of lighting. So now I'm not afraid to make moody lighting, high key lighting, soft lighting. I've had to understand and master the lighting part so that I understand how to create the vision for my clients, even if they want something brighter or darker. But imagine if your future looked like this, getting happy clients because you were able to deliver on what they wanted, that they felt so happy with the result. And that's because I led them through a process. Okay. This is where I was able to have these happy clients. And I had to work on this on this because I mean, in the beginning, when you're starting as a brand photographer, you start, but you don't have anything in place. You don't have any way of guiding people. So I had to kind of learn how to do all of this. But what you need is a simple, repeatable system to guide your brand photography clients through. Okay, so this will help you. And so I have my concept to photo shoot framework that I created. And this will take your brand shoots from overwhelmed to organized, and you will impress your clients with ease so they don't feel overwhelmed and that they feel like they're in good hands with your care. So you'd say goodbye to planning stress and hello to efficient brand shoots. And I think that's where, that's where when they start to feel fully cared for and that they're seeing their vision come to life, this is how they become very happy in the end. And success comes from prioritizing sustainable systems that you can rinse and repeat, and one that delivers results without draining you, because you don't want to feel stressed when you're doing brand shoots. And there's a lot of moving pieces from the beginning to the end. So you have like, if you have a system, the system will make it so easy that you can repeat it over and over again. So I'm asking you, are you ready to go into 2025, ready to slay your brand photography game? Because we only have a few more months left of 2024. I know it's crazy, right? Like, I mean, this year went by so fast, and I don't know how your year went as a photographer. But this year, was a lot of crazy things happening. I mean, in the world, and people are a little bit tighter with money, but people are able to spend money with you if they are, serious about having a brand shoot with you. So I'm just saying, like, it's possible for you to start a brand photography business, add this to your services if you are shooting other genres, and you get to add this to your services, which I think has been so fun for me, working with all these different business owners and learning about different things. I've learned about human design. I've learned about food and eating and all sorts of different things. So it's expanded my knowledge as well. So I've been able to help a lot of different people. And so I want to share with you quickly my course that I came out with now, which is called Nail Your Visual Edge. And this is where you're going to master the creative direction skills that will make your brand photography clients rave about you. So if you're somebody who's like, oh, I want to get into brand photography, this is going to be the course for you, because you're going to go learn everything about brand photography, but I'm focusing mostly on art direction as well. And a lot of different brand photography courses, they don't really talk about the art direction process and elevating your photography. And I wanted to do something very different than what's already been put out there. And so I want to share this with you so that you might be interested in joining me on this journey. And, how would it feel if you had this repeatable, stress-free brand shoot process to help you, to guide you, so you can show your creative direction skills while bringing in fully aligned clients who are lined up to work with you? I think that would be pretty awesome. And right now I'm really lucky now because I've worked so hard to build this, that I have really great clients that I get to work with. And it feels so nice to feel respected and cared for by them as well. So imagine positioning yourself as the premium brand photographer, one whose work doesn't just capture images, but transforms brands. So you get to impact people. And this is going to be for photographers who are wanting to break into brand photography or are working as a brand photographer. Okay. And my brand photography framework, the concept to shoot method, will help you to confidently plan each shoot, creating on brand, visually powerful concepts that gets you booked. Okay. So I really wanted to teach something that would help you to position yourself as a premium brand photographer, one whose work doesn't just capture those images, but transforms brands. Discover your unique visual style that stands out in a crowded market, setting you apart from other photographers. And that's because we're going to hone in on what makes you unique and different. And you will attract those high value clients who are eager to invest in your expertise and your distinct approach. And you'll learn my exclusive concept to Photoshoot framework so that you can lead your clients through the planning process and deliver results that make their brand shine. And then, of course, you're going to connect with other brand photographers and get inspired by other people. And I think that's really important, to be in a community of other people. So I'm going to show you what I've created in terms of like how it will go down, just so you can see how I will lead you through this whole process. But basically, it starts with brand clarity. So you're going to actually learn about branding for yourself. And you're going to get clear on what makes your visual style stand out. So we will hone in on those things so that you can start feeling like, okay, I'm now not going to copy other people. I'm going to find my own way of like standing out in my own unique voice. Then we're going to get into that client welcome and communication, because this is where the success comes from the very beginning. You want to lead people through the experience from the very moment they get in touch with you. So I'm going to show you how that works. And then 3 is how I lead people through my planning call. So when I get on the call with my clients, how do I lead them through this so that they feel like, we created something really cool together. I'm just going to get a sip of water. And then we're going to go into nailing your brand shoot. And this is so you can learn how to, you'll learn my repeatable process, the concept to photo shoot framework. And you'll learn exactly how to streamline your planning process. I have to cough, sorry. Okay, this will help your clients feel like super excited about their brand shoot. And then there's the brand shoot day. And like I said, most photographers don't realize that not everyone is born photogenic, which is why I'm teaching you how to get them warmed up. So I warm up my clients in a certain way for their brand shoot, and I'm going to teach you how I do that. Then there's posing. You'll learn how to pose, and I think posing is something that a lot of people struggle with a lot, and this is why I wanted to include this. And then we're going to go through picking the photos and how we do the client delivery. And then the wrap up, which is how we try to lead everybody through the beginning to the end so that everybody is happy in the end. And this is how you can start getting those reviews from your clients so that you have something to show other people for the future so they feel confident booking you. So right now it's $9.97, but I'm going to just tell you a little bit more about it. I'm going to give you a $300 discount if you guys join within the next 48 hours. So you can get $300 off, right? If not, it'll go back up to $9.97. But you can save $300 today if you want to join today and get that awesome deal. And then for those who join and you pay in full, you'll get a 40-minute coaching call with me. And this is where I will answer any questions that you have, and I will guide you on anything that you're having issues with. And I think it's really great if you can start speaking to somebody directly, because you get to ask questions specifically for yourself. And you can see here that I've had somebody review how it was working with me. So, and that was nice. But I also wanted to add some bonuses if you guys join within the next 48 hours. Okay. So there's this bonus that's a 24-hour bonus, which is my brand artistry course. And this is the course that I give to my clients so that they can prep for their brand shoot and also guide them through the ideation process because they don't know how to come up with a vision. And I really want this to be something that they work on together with me. And so I've created this, it's like an hour-long workshop, and I guide them through this whole process. Because even if I tell them how to prep, half the time they don't get it. So some people like to learn visually, and so I created this video. You will get access to that if you join within the next 24 hours. Then there's a 48-hour bonus, which is my Notion brand photography content planner. And this is where I've saved lots of inspo videos for me to just like create content. So I never run out of ideas. And you'll get access to that as well if you join within the next 48 hours. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah. Well, this is the first time I'm teaching this workshop, this masterclass. And so you guys are the first to see this. And I'm really excited to teach this to you guys. So here's what you get when you do join this intimate group. There's actually only 10 spots available. And the reason why I did this was because I wanted to create something where I could give you my focus, especially because I'm going to be doing portfolio assessments where I'm recording a video for you and I'm going to tell you where you can improve your photography, maybe where you can go, how you can open up new income streams and start adding this brand photography to your business. So it is live trainings. So we would meet weekly, and my goal is to start on the 21st of November, and we will go through this process so that you can go into 2025 starting to build your brand photography business. Okay. So let me just check. What is your experience with selling viewing sessions just after sessions or shortly after, but in person with clients? I do an online gallery approach. Yes. Okay. So if you saw the beginning, I took Sue Bryce's courses and she does this like in-person viewing. I don't have time for that. So why would I want to book that stuff for my business if I want more time freedom? And my clients are very happy to not meet either. So I made it easy for myself. I have an online gallery and they go through the images. And if I feel like they should have picked a different one, I will go and guide them a little bit more. But I don't do in-person viewing sessions because I just don't have the time to do that kind of stuff. And nobody's ever really wanted to do that. So yeah, I just do an online gallery approach. So yes, I will send an email with all the info. Yes. Yeah, and this is kind of how it's going to happen. And yeah, this is just a quick recap, and then I'm going to give you this Canva template or the downloadable posing guide. But just want to recap that by the end of the course, you will develop your visual edge strategies to guide your clients through the art direction process and how to create photos that make you stand out so that you're one of a kind, right? That's the whole point, is that we start to stand out in our own unique way. And it starts with discovering your visual style and taking what you're good at and how you show up for your clients and really doing your own spin on their brand shoots. And this is how you're going to start attracting those high value clients, the ones who really are excited to work with you, that value your expertise. And this is how you do it. And I've gone through a lot of different clients, and I realized when I started to shift the way I ran things, it just made my life easier. I really wanted to build something that was sustainable for me as a parent and make my life work for me and my business like work around my business. So this is kind of how I've built things. And yeah, I've been doing this for since 2016 now. Like the actual like brand photography is when I started. So I've been doing this for a really long time, and there's so many things that I want to share with you guys, but it's of course this is like already gone over an hour, and I have to put it in a course because there's no other way to do this. So I'm just really glad that you're here and that you stayed this long. And I'm gonna put I don't know now. Let me see if I can put in the chat the link. Tell me if you can reach it. Hold on one second. For the posing guide, I've literally shared different brand shoots here so you get inspired to help your clients with posing. So let me see. I put it in the chat now. Can you access it? Just let me know if you're able to access. Yes, awesome. Awesome. I'm so happy that you are able to get this. And I really hope that it helps you no matter what you're shooting, because I think like posing is definitely one of those things that really is tough. Yeah, I mean, this was hard to keep to an hour. There's so much to talk about when it comes to brand photography. And I could keep talking, but I know that you guys can't sit here forever like watching me. But I really encourage you to come and join us. I think this is going to be a really great way for you to break into brand photography, or even to just, you know, take your photography to the next level, because it's really been so wonderful. This genre has been so great for me. And I've tried out different things. I tried weddings, and I felt like I didn't want to be gone every weekend. I tried families, but I realized I wasn't gifted with families. So I feel like this was definitely my genre of photography. And I've just been happy that I've been able to like go on this path. So awesome. Thank you, Jessica. This was inspirational. I just discovered you, and God bless you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ivana. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was nervous. If you couldn't tell, my face is red. It always turns red. I'm like, I wish that it never happened, but yeah, I mean, I love kids. But I realized, especially being in another country, that it was really difficult to photograph children. And like, yeah. So for me, it wasn't for me. And now I get to work like normal hours, like most people, and still earn good money doing this. And I get to help people, which is actually the most rewarding part, to see the final work come to life. Because sometimes you work with a web designer, and when they use your photos together, oof, it looks amazing. It's powerful. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I hope you learned something today, and that you can take this and, you know, even if you don't join me, or yeah, that you learned something. So thank you for being here. And I will send all the info out. If you want the link and stuff directly to your email, I will send some more information about that. But if not, you can come and join us over here, jessicahanlon.com, and then /visual edge. And I hope to see you there. And there's only room for 10 people, and there's only some bonuses for those who, you know, get these bonuses within the 24 and 48 hours. So yeah. Oh, let's see. Raised hand. Let's see. I don't know how this Zoom works. Somebody raised their hand, and I don't know how to like, sorry. Ivana, did you have a question? Or does anybody have any questions? I'll make sure I don't miss anything. Ivana, did you have a question, or no? Okay. Well, either way. Oh, okay. Yeah, just send me a DM or something on Instagram if you have a question. All right, thank you so much for today, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Thank you.